Hello there. This is an astrological forecast for Taurus for 2012. And this also applies if you have a Taurus ascendant. So, my dear Taurians, we have got a lot happening in the heavens. I'm sure you've heard of 2012 and all the prophecies that have been made, but boy, we've got a lot happening astrologically, which would support maybe some of these prophecies of the world really changing during these times. We've got three important planets changing signs. We've got Jupiter, Saturn and Neptune all changing signs. And on top of that, we've got retrogrades of Venus and Mars. Venus ruling your money and your finances, and Mars ruling your passion and your energy and what you put your actions into. So, much happening. Let's start out with Mars, because Mars is the planet that goes retrograde first, and that's on January the 24th. And that's until April the 14th. And it's in your 5th house, Taurus. So Mars retrograde always slows down the action in that particular house. And that house is anything to do with children, self-employment, creativity, a romance. So, for example, if you got into a relationship during this time, you would be well advised to go very slowly in this relationship and really find out more about this person before you really committed yourself emotionally until Mars goes direct on April 14th. It's a very good time for doing some research into having your own business. If you've already got your own business, for researching maybe new products, new services. It's just going to slow you down that bit. It's a great time if you've been putting off maybe studying or learning a musical instrument or doing some art or some making something or jewelry or whatever it is. Great time to do it during the retrograde, because it's often things that we've been planning to do that we haven't had the time to do. Then you can start to do them during the retrograde, or at least research doing them during the retrograde, and then when it goes direct, you can go full steam ahead. Now, on February the 4th, we've got Neptune changing sign. Moves from your 10th into your 11th house. It's very important. It's going to be there till 2025, so it's a very long transit. But it's important during this time to really choose your friends carefully. It's possible that you may meet needy people who need from you, who may drain from you. The positive side of this Neptune into your 11th house is that you really could meet up with people who are on your wavelength, who are particularly on your spiritual wavelength. They've got similar ideals to you, and you really connect with them at that very inspirational level. We've got Venus going retrograde. Venus, your ruling planet, my dear Taurus, going retrograde on May the 15th until June 27th. And that's in your 2nd house of finance. Now, what happens when Venus goes retrograde is, first of all, relationships from the past can come back into your life. And for you, it's just not going to be a good time for borrowing money, for buying something very expensive, any high ticket items, especially anything that involves clothes or jewellery. It's a very good time to take care of any unfinished business that you've got in the financial field. So any outstanding financial situations that you need to take care of, great time to do it during this Venus retrograde. Very often during a retrograde, prices can get inflated. So if you've got some stocks that you want to get rid of, or a piece of real estate that you want to get rid of, it could be a great time to do it during this Venus retrograde. It's a wonderful time for buying antiques, anything like that, or even anything on eBay or any of these trading websites where you can pick up bargains. You're likely to pick up even better bargains during Venus retrograde. As well, we mustn't forget that we've still got Jupiter in your sign for the first 6 months of this year until June the 12th. So Taurians, keep going forward. Don't give up. Go out of your comfort zone. Take a few more risks. Calculated risks, of course. But remember, it's the time to go after your opportunities while Jupiter's in your sign. After June the 12th, it changes sign and goes into your second house, goes into Gemini. So this is going to be potentially a time of expansion in your financial situation. Could be new opportunities coming to you for earning extra money, maybe supplemental income, maybe starting a new business on the side, maybe even some passive income. But it's a potential. Jupiter always indicates a potential for increased income and earnings. It's also, however, Jupiter has the tendency to go over the top. You have to watch out that you're not being overconfident with money. You're not overspending. You're not going beyond your means, because Jupiter can just as easily have the money pour out as quickly as it came in. So you do need to watch that aspect with the Jupiter. And also it's a good time to learn about what's important to you. What are your values? And do you value yourself? Are you really valuing yourself? Are you dressing and feeling like somebody who deserves to be well paid? So all those questions coming in between May and June 27th, especially when Venus is retrograde, you'll be thinking about it. And after June the 12th to the end of the year, that's when Jupiter's in that second house. So that will be a time of expansion in this whole understanding and your attitudes about money. Then we've got Saturn in your 6th house until October 5th. So still maybe some hardships or some difficulties or increased responsibilities in the work area. And also it's very important that you really take care of your health. Very important that you've got good regimes and structures in, and also some rest time, that you're not overdoing it. After October the 5th, and then until October 2015, we've got Saturn moving into your 7th house of relationship. So it's very possible that some relationships during this transit will end, simply because they're not nourishing anymore, they're demanding, they're just not worth the energy that you've been putting into them. And there could be a marital separation or a breakup, or equally there could be a coming together in a very solid relationship. But it's very important during this transit that you live up to your agreements that you make with other people. Your integrity will be tested in your relationships. So whatever agreements you make, think about them carefully before you agree, and then make sure you follow up on those agreements. Because there are big lessons for you with relationships in that area. So, Taurians, don't forget that Jupiter influence for the first 6 months of this year. And really take advantage of developing your creativity at the beginning of this year in January, when Mars is retrograde in your 5th house. So I wish you a wonderful year, and you might want to have a reading about what 2012 has in store for you, or ask a question as to how you can make best use of the aspects during this year. Whatever happens, I would be delighted to hear from you. Thank you very much for listening. Have a great 2012. Bye for now.